Hi guys, so if you're in class today, you're doing a scavenger hunt. So we're working with fractions specifically. So our goal, remember, is to isolate our variable, to get our variable by itself. So we're gonna add, I don't have my drawing tool on. We're gonna add 12 to both sides. Of our equal sign to keep it balanced. So I have negative 1/4 k equals, my signs are different, so I have to subtract. And it's going to be a negative because there are more negatives than positives. If I multiply, if I multiply by 1/4, the opposite would be to divide by negative 1/4. So I'm dividing by negative 1/4, which is the same as negative 4/1 divided by 1/4. Don't leave your negative out. Keep, change, flip. Negative 4/1 times 4 divided by negative 1 equals negative 16 divided by negative 1, which would be positive 16. So k equals 16. All right, I'm going to add 5 to each side. Signs are different, so I have to subtract. I get 3, and it's going to be negative because there are more negatives than there are positives, and I have 1/2 x. So if I have 1/2 x, I'm going to divide by 1/2. So that's the same as 3/1 divided by 1/2. Keep, change, flip. 3/1 times 1/2. I'm leaving my negative, so I didn't flip it. And it would be negative 6. So x equals negative 6. All right, I'm going to add 4 to each side. So I have 28 equals 2y. I'm going to divide by 2 on each side. Y equals 14. That was really easy. I'm going to subtract 19 on each side. So my signs are different, so I have to subtract. So I get 11, and it's going to be negative because I have more negatives than positives, and I have to bring down a negative t. Now I'm going to treat this as if it's a negative 1t, so I'm going to divide by negative 1 on each side. So a negative 11 divided by negative 1 leaves me with a positive 1 equal, a positive 11 equals a positive t. So I'm going to add 16 to each side to create that 0 pair. So my signs are different, so I have to subtract. I get 12, and it's more negatives than there are positives. I get negative 3/2 n. So if I multiply by 3/2, I have to divide by negative 3/2. So that's the same as if I had negative 12/1 divided by negative 3/2. Keep, change, flip. So that's negative 12/1 times 2 over negative 3, which would be 24 divided by negative 3. Negative 24 divided by negative 3 will give me a positive 8. So n equals 8. So I'm going to subtract 5 on each side. Oh, I don't write my 0 there. So I have negative 4/3. D equals 0. If I divide by negative 4/3, well, I get 0. Minus 7. 10 minus 7 is 3. W divided by 3, I'm going to multiply by 3 on each side. W equals 9. I'm going to subtract 2 on each side. Multiply by negative 7. V equals negative 28. I'm going to subtract 2 on each side. Because remember, the goal is to get that variable by itself. So I'm going to add because the signs are the same. Divide by negative 5. When the signs are the same, my answer is going to be positive. So C equals 4. Subtract 8. Signs are the same, so I'm going to add. Multiply by negative 3/5. The opposite is to divide by negative 3/5. Which would be, oh, I've got too many negative signs. There we go. Negative divided by negative is going to make a positive. So P equals 25. Make a 0 pair. Signs are the same. Okay, so signs are different, so I'm going to subtract, and I get negative 3 because there are more negatives than there are positives. Divide by negative 3/7. So N equals, so that's negative 3/1 divided by negative 3/7. That's the same as keep, change, flip. Negative 3/1 times 7/3, right? So that's 3 times 7 is 21, and then 1 times 3 is 3, and they're both negative. So 21 divided by 3 is 7, and negative divided by negative is positive. So N is going to be positive 7. We're going to divide by negative 1. H equals negative 13. Okay, signs are different, so I have to subtract, and I get 6. It's going to be a negative 6 equals 6M. And divide by 6. So M equals negative 1. I'm going to add 4. Signs are the are different, so I'm going to, excuse me, or I'm going to subtract. So I'm going to divide by -5/2. So that's the same as 5/1 divided by -5/2. Keep, change, flip. 5/1 times 2/-5. Keep, not keep, change, flip. We multiply across and we get 10/-5. So 10 divided by 5 is 2, and it's going to be negative because a positive divided by a negative is a negative. So that means x equals -2. Signs are different, so I have to subtract, and I get 4, and it's going to be a negative. Ooh, I did that wrong. I have to isolate my variable, not mess with the other side. I'm going to add 11 to each side. So my signs are different, and it's going to be a positive 4 because there are more positives than negatives, and that equals 4/5 r. So I'm going to divide by 4/5. So that's the same as doing 4/1 divided by 4/5. Keep, change, flip. 4/1 times 5/4, which is 20 divided by 4, which would be 5. And it's all going to be positive because a positive divided by a positive is positive, so r equals 5. All right. I wish you were in class. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.